Good evening, Suffolk Ram.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 275 of the Ran Nerds podcast.
275. Oh my god, I've just said the number that I guarantee I'll forget by the end of it.
Yeah, he will. He will. This is why he just sends me the audio file and hopes I keep up with it.
And I'll go, Ram, what number was that episode again?
I could literally come, if I just started the podcast and just said, welcome to episode 12, he'd go, all right, yeah,
mate,
yeah.
Episode 12?
Oh, yeah, I'll go with it.
12 episodes already?
Oh, those are the days when we were a lot younger.
Yeah.
I think a lot less jaded as well.
Oh, yeah. Which is funny, because that leads into the question that I was going to ask you today.
Oh, here we go. Go on, ask the question then.
Right. I've realised, after my kind of like 6 to 9 month gap, we'll say 7 for fun, I don't really like games anymore.
All right. Okay.
Right? It's not terrible, right? I just find that most of the new stuff I play doesn't tickle me anymore. Like, you know, when you kind of sometimes you get into that scenario and your heart rate goes up and you're like, you get really engrossed in it. Now I just look at a game and go, I've played this before. Or if something really big does happen, like big happens on screen, I'm like, oh, that's a set piece. I can't die. Or, oh, well, I've got about 50 mechanics to get out of this, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, oh no, I screwed up. Oh, you're dead. But I've been talking to my eldest son recently, and in turn, I've been talking to a bunch of my friends. And so I'm curious how you see this. So I've gone on record many a time saying that Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and a lot of other games wouldn't have sold as well as they did were it not for the name attached to them. And my eldest son goes, partway rightly so, no, Dad, people are buying games because they think they look cool. And I said, if people are basing their impressions on a game on a trailer, they're stupid. Because that's usually not even gameplay footage.
Yeah.
And if we go all the way back to like Watch Dogs, it's not even the game. Right? It's not the thing that you get. The thing you see looks amazing. The thing you get's kind of, someone unplugged the good graphics card and put in the one that everyone else had. So I'm kind of curious, man, like, because I mean, he's partly right. I know I'm partly right. What is it that drives you to a game? One as a gamer, and then if you think outside the box as a normie, what would make you pick a game? Because I'm of the impression that if you are a gamer, you'll be more likely to use the that looks cool rule. But if you're a normie with no idea, let's say you wanted a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 5 or something like that. You've got no idea about games. You've got no idea what's good or bad. You just go, right, I want a Nintendo Switch. I know the name Zelda. There's Zelda. I know the name Donkey Kong. There's Donkey Kong. I know the game whatever. I'll go with like Pokemon. I'll go with that. On PlayStation, I'll go with Call of Duty. I know Call of Duty. That's a thing. You go basically on brand.
Yes.
How do you go about it? So, like, how would you? So I don't know how to explain this to my son.
Okay. Because
you would play completely different games to what I would, and what he would. And I try to explain that too, because again, he comes from a time where everything is on the internet. All of the information's on the internet. All of the character bios are on the internet. The directors, the artists, all of it's there for him to look up if he wants to. You know, he's got a shit ton of stuff he can have at a reasonable price. Whereas back when we were younger, like as well, that and the consolification of PC, he is in the mindset that you can basically have everything everywhere whenever you want it, and all of the information is there and you have to know it. But I come from a time where you had maybe a shoebox of games.
Yeah.
And if you wanted these games, you had a Nintendo. If you wanted these specific games, they were only on PC. If you wanted these games, they were only on like PlayStation. That's not a thing. Like trying to explain to him that if I put a JRPG in front of you, you'd fucking like go, what the fuck is this? Or like a control pad, and you'd go like, what the fuck is this? And say to him like, hey, Ram plays these games. And then he goes, well, what the fuck are they? It's like, yeah, they're the kind of games you don't get on console.
Yeah. I think, I think my sort of games I tend to play tend to all be, I like games that have got a bit of a, I don't like games that sort of like tend to funnel you down a path. I like games that tend to be a bit more like you can sort of like mess around, play a bit more like a play box type games. I like games where you have to. I think here it's just like sort of like sort of stealthy type games where you have to sort of like you can't just run and gun it. I don't like those. I think partly comes from the fact that as I've got older, my reactions aren't as good as they used to be. So I'm not so good at shooters as I used to be.
Makes sense.
I like games that are slightly shit. It's probably I don't I can if a game's a bit rough from the edges I can generally look past it. If it's like I'm more intrigued by sort of interesting gameplay. It's a bit different, even if it's like mechanically, technically, it's just the same thing. It's just dressed up differently. If it's got like slightly odd gameplay or how it plays, so I'm quite interested in that. So a good example this year would be Hard Space Shipbreaker. That's a game where fundamentally you're shooting things really and dragging things around with a gravity gun, realistically, mechanically, but it's because you have to like cut things apart, so you have to think a little bit about it. That's sort of what drags me to games. I like games where
I'd never have put those two together, by the way.
Well, they're both
at all mechanically. I wouldn't have even thought you're just pointing and shooting, and that never even when I played Hard Space at all. I saw it as a completely different game, even though visually it was like the slowest paced first person shooter you could imagine. But
that's what I mean. It's all the mechanics of it make you sort of look past it, because realistically there are only so many ways you can interact with a game. There are so few ways you can, so you have to sort of dress them up a bit interesting. It's the same with like film. There's only so many ways a story can be told, and it's how they dress them up each time. But if you look at my sort of like game history of the last couple of years, I don't tend to play very few mainstream games. Probably the last like mainstream game I played is Cyberpunk. I can think of top of my head, and that's what 3-4 years ago. So I tend to be attracted more to. I also think part of it is I have less to spend on games. I tend not to be buying new games, so I sort of tend to be attracted to picking up smaller indie games in sales, or I get from Hummer Bundle, which has got me lots of games I would never have played, wouldn't even consider second thought, because I've got free. I give them a go. I like to try. I'll happily give any random game a go, even if it looks like completely off the wall of what I wouldn't normally have picked up. I'll give it a go and see how I get on. That's generally what attracts. Yeah, so I think for a game to attract me, it has to have like some sort of like unique. I also tell unique stories. I also like more science fictiony focused games. I like sci-fi, so then we all clue towards that. Any game where I can have like a little bit of a project going on, like a little bit of creativity, I like as well. So good example, and sort of tallies into one I'm playing this week actually, is last year I got quite obsessed with Empyrion Galactic Survival.
No, you didn't. No, what are you talking about?
And because it just sort of tickled, it was space-based. You could just build things, you could set projects up, and I was just doing random projects, and that sort of really, that was still probably my favourite games of the last few years. But yeah, I can't remember the last time I played a Call of Duty. Probably, I think I might have played the tutorial, one of the modern ones. And that was it. And the previous like Call of Duty I think I played was actually Call of Duty 1, like the proper World War II one, which to be fair was a heavily scripted game. That was when they were really getting sort of scripted.
I remember you talking to me about it because it came out when we were in college, did it not?
Yeah,
and I remember you talking about how you kicked down a door and you'd already like save scummed it, and you wanted to save this one guy, but you booted down a door, shot the guy that was supposed to shoot him in surprise. and yet he still dropped dead because it was a scripted event that he had to die.
Yes. A long time ago. Part of me's tempted to like play the game again, see if I could do it again. Whether see if it was a fluke or whether it's a repeatable bug, or somehow I managed to clip through the door. I'm trying to sort of do that again. I can even remember I can even visually remember the exact bit it happened.
It's one of the villages, isn't it? Are you not trying
no,
to
it was in a building.
Or something like that?
No. It was in like a warehouse type building, and I think. Again, I visualise it, but I could be visualising this completely wrong. It was basically like in a warehouse. You're in a corridor. He kicks the door and goes in the front of you, and I think there's like a set. He like sort of like steps. He's sort of looking to his right. There's like a set of stairs, and the guy at the stairs shoots down at him.
Is this the level
Russian.
where there are tanks in the streets? It's either before or after this.
Maybe.
I remember that
little Pacific Vignette bit. I couldn't tell you what level it was in, but I can remember that exact just little bit. And again, I could be most remembering it wrong. I may have a very clear memory of it, but I could be completely wrong. But yeah, that's what sort of attracts me to sort of. I would say I'm trying to remember the last sort of like mainstream modern game I've played, and I said it is probably Cyberpunk. I don't tend to. I've tried some more console games. I think the last sort of. I don't think it didn't do particularly well, and it wasn't particularly well received, in fairness. But what I thought was a good epitome of what everything I think was wrong with console games, and that's a real sort of probably wrong judgment to have. That this is what I basically think of a console game being like, but it's probably not fair. But it's what I think of. Calypso Protocol. In that it was a game that it was third person, over the shoulder third person, but it felt basically of the genre where the game designer was just trying to make a film that you could walk around in. In that everything was very heavily sort of like scripted of how it's going to play. Every level was like, here's an arena, things are now going to come attack you. You kill the things, you move to the next arena. And they're not called arenas, of course they're not. They're not called that. The levels don't really make any logical sense when you walk around. They just feel like a series of encounters, room after room. It might as well have been a procedure-generated random dungeon generator type thing, because levels didn't make sense. Like, well, hang on a second, this is meant to be like a laundry, but that doesn't make sense being over there. You know, why don't these link together? Correct, this doesn't make sense. No one would design it this way, so it doesn't feel like a place, which pulls you out of the game.
I get that.
I remember there's one bit where literally you walk past a guy who is been like sort of strung up, and it's clearly he's going to come and attack you. He's like sort of like he's been took out by this monster creature. He's going to attack you, but he's sort of like, this. You can't kill him until he's triggered. You can't kill him. You can't tell him go, I'm shooting this guy in the head, and then he dies, and then it's like, oh well done, congratulations, you were smart, you thought about it, you got past it. No. You can't kill him because you've not triggered him yet. Now you've triggered him, he's going to jump scare you. It's not a jump scare because you knew it was going to happen. And now you can kill him. And it was a sort of the epitome of everything I think was wrong with game design. In that basically at this point, like, why am I even here? Just make a film. You clearly have a story you want to tell in a certain way, but you won't let me be clever around it. You won't let me bypass it. Just make a film.
Would you say it gave you the groove of what the hell was that game we played on Switch for the Halloween special that year?
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly agreed. Outlast?
Yeah. Awful game.
Awful. Yeah, and it was incredibly popular, but it's terrible. Every level looked the same. Every level looked the same. Every level was just brown. None of the particular monsters. The only level I enjoyed in that game was the one with the Mad Doctor, because that was slightly
to try and hide.
That was slightly freeform. Yeah, that was fun because it's slightly freeform. It all made sense, but the rest of it was just bullshit, really. And
paint by numbers, go like this is going to happen. You should be here already, or you should figure out this is where you need to be.
Yeah. And again, it made the thing where the levels just didn't feel real. And that's actually what breaks. I think actually interesting now. That's an interesting point. That's what sort of breaks my immersion the most in the game. Is if I know going into it, it's just a random generated level. That's fine. So here's how I watch. Doesn't bother me because I know it's going to be randomly generated. It doesn't bother me at that stage. When I'm going to a game that's meant to be, this is a mental asylum. Okay, in my head, I'm mentally placing it together. I'm mentally building it up. And I'm mentally going, how's this linked together? And if it doesn't link together properly in my head, it doesn't. It just feels like I'm playing a game then, not Explore Place.
No, I get that completely. I totally understand what you're saying. It completely. Everyone says to me you should just suspend, suspend disbelief and all that kind of stuff. I can't do it. There are times I just can't do it. If I feel like I'm playing a game, it's ruined for me.
Suspension
be immersed.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief means, in my mind, it's not suspending. You're slightly pushing it to one side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're slightly push side. So let me give you a perfect example to this. Okay.
Yeah. Callisto Protocol. Currently on sale, 85% off.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Came out in 2022.
Not worth it. So, I'll give you an example. It's not a game; it's a film. It's a film series, okay. And the bit that failed, the bit that's all like fails the series for me. I've watched. I only got around to watch it last year, and I actually quite enjoyed it. To be fair, and I also dismissed it. I actually didn't mind it. So last year, I watched all the Harry Potter films, all of them, 1 to 8. Now. Yeah. Harry Potter Universe. I can suspend disbelief when it comes to the witches and wizards and all that sort of stuff. I can suspend that. I can suspend that all that bits. What I can't get around though is the logistics.
It doesn't work, do it?
No.
In modern day, it doesn't work.
Well, this is. I've had this rant before, but you're a wizard. You go to Hogwarts. You qualify to be a wizard, and then what? Because frankly, there's not enough jobs out there for you. There's simply too many students qualifying every year. This culture is so small, there's simply not enough jobs for everybody. So it's basically doing how it's basically like getting a degree in being an actor and going to work at Starbucks afterwards. It's a bit like that. Yeah. I think there's a route for like a spin of Harry Potter, which is all the wizards who just who end up having a job in Waterstones because they can't get a job in because basically you either work for the Ministry of Magic or you have a shop, and that's about it.
The bit that gets me about Harry Potter is just the idea of, because there aren't that many students going through, and obviously there are. The world's a big place, but the fact the world's a big place and it's a modern world. And normal people aren't supposed to know. That's the bit that gets me. How the hell do you keep these secrets in this day and age?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one knows there's dragons over here because reasons. Magic maybe. Now, airplane flies over there like 15 times a day.
I could see actually an interesting spin-off being set like in a government department, a bit like the X-Files in a way, in that the government, because I believe at the end of the law, the government does know about Hogwarts. The government does know about them. But they're sort of like kept like every prime minister's like, okay, you're the new prime minister. We've got to tell you, magic's fucking real, and it's over here. Now imagine, my picture would be, let's imagine there's a division of of a small group of people who are wizards and normal people who are in like a secret government division, MI10, whatever you want to call it, and their job is basically to prevent the wizarding world bleeding through into the Muggle world. And they have to go around and investigate and perhaps find strange things and contain and control it. I think that could be an interesting TV series spin-off. And that
I thought that was the job of the Ministry of Magic.
But this is, I think, Ministry of Magic, I think, do things like that, but this is more like, I think they're more like overt stuff.
You're thinking more specific.
Yeah.
Do you know what you've just kind of mentioned?
Yeah.
The Federal Bureau of Control.
Yes, actually, kind of in a way, yes. Except
that's the FBC.
But there is
paranormal events going on. They go out to contain them.
But the difference is they know why. They know the source code, and there are people. So imagine this division where it's like half wizards, half muggles, and they basically have to go and investigate. You can just imagine now the pair with like sort of the wizard and the muggle go off, and they have to investigate things, and work out what's causing it getting, and sort of control it and bring it back. I think that could be an interesting premise. And it could show how they having to control it, but sort of develop. We've sort of gone off the topic, but that's basically sort of when suspension of disbelief doesn't work for me. Is when I feel like it's logistics. It's logistics that always break down for me. It doesn't when it's like I just can't see the logistics how this makes sense.
Yeah,
that's when it sort of fails for me. That's when and that same is true in games when basically something doesn't makes sense.
Doesn't
I think
fit.
the trouble. So yeah, well, the trouble is in the games like Callisto Protocol was they design the level first and then they design the environment around it. So you decide how you want the set pieces to be and then decide, okay, this is going to be, oh, let's roll the dice. Oh, it's going to be a laundry. Oh, let's roll dice. It's going to be the prison cells. Rather than, why don't they do, let's create some interesting environments, pick some interesting environments. Let's think how we could use those to make sort of interesting parts of the story. Because my go-to this is Thief 2. Thief 2 hired an architect to design lots of their levels, or advise on their levels. I'm not sure it's actually design. So their levels feel like real places and real buildings because they had someone who knew what they were doing designing them. Who'd go, this would be stupid to design this, let's change it to make it like this. And then they designed the levels round, then they built the levels round the areas. So I'm pretty sure
We'll just throw out there, lads, ladies and gentlemen, just because Ram has given Thief some praise here doesn't mean we're recommending you go back and play it, because that's some old-timey jank.
Oh,
Even
Thief,
if the levels fit together.
So Thief 1, I won't lie, is very hard to play these days. Thief 2, though, I will stand by, I think still holds up, because that feels a lot more better. But Thief 1 is quite, there's a massive jump in quality between 1 and 2, and Thief 1 has got its weak bits. But Thief 2, I would still play to this day. And I still think that, yes, the graphics don't look anywhere fancy or flash, but I still think level-wise and story-wise, it still holds up, I think.
Question is, have you played it recently, though? Because we had this same issue when we played Silent Hill 2. You still absolutely adored Silent Hill 2. We went back to it, and I remember you looking at me and saying, I wish we hadn't have done that.
I have replayed Thief 2 about 4 times. I can't remember the last, I couldn't give you the time the last time I played it, but I've played it 4 times, enjoyed it every time. Whereas I think Silent Hill we played through once. And Thief 3, I've played through so many times.
I liked Thief 3. Look, for a consoleization of the Thief games, I liked that one.
Yes.
Because I actually, what I enjoyed about Thief 3 was that, and this is going to sound really silly, I could take it with me somewhere and show it to my mates, because it was on Xbox. And an Xbox is easier to take somewhere than your PC.
And again, the world, the buildings felt like real buildings. There's a few levels that are a little bit, but most of the buildings feel like real buildings. So I played the modified version last year, because the problem with Thief 3 was that the original Unreal Engine couldn't really handle big environments, so the levels were nearly all subdivided into at least 2 different areas. And you had to go through like a loading screen to get to the other area.
I also wonder if that was partially down to the consolification.
That was part of that as well, yes. That was as a part of it as well for the processing power. So the modification basically rebuilds the levels and just joins them together again. But it does mean you do get some weird, there's a lot of like random long corridors and buildings. Because that'd be you walking to loading screen one end and then walking out the loading screen the other end. They just lock them together. Most noticeable in the cradle. There's like a rig long corridor which you wouldn't spot, which does all break it a little bit, but it's still nice. But just walk back and forth between the areas and have to wait for them to load. But yeah, that's what attracts me to games.
Sure.
We actually
I was just trying to explain to the big guy that when you're already a gamer, you go for because you already have a taste for what you like. So you will kind of gravitate to something that looks cool.
Yeah.
But if you have no idea, you tend to go with a brand. Like everyone, even great grandma goes, I know Sonic. She might not know what Sonic looks like or what the game is, but she knows Sonic, the name.
My grandfather, when he was like in his last few sort of months on this planet Earth, unfortunately, when he was like, couldn't really do much, he discussed with me getting an Xbox so he could play Medal of Honor.
See?
I sat them down, I pulled him some gameplay videos, say this is what it's like, just so you know. So like, and he's like, oh, I wasn't about to do the sort of like reaction. I'd be too slow. It's like, we still get one if you want, but just so you know what you're going into. Yeah, I mean, he was getting quite frail at this point, to be fair. But I did want to just go and, but I want to say, let's have a look and see what it's going to be like. And I did say, you can get Flight Sim on Xbox. which I think would have perhaps been a better choice for him. But in the end, he didn't. But even he knew like Medal of Honor and stuff like that, and he was not what you call. He was never a gamer, or in the gaming generation. I think my issue, my issue with modern games. I think just a lot of I shouldn't think so much like there's a lot of crap out there so much. I think the crap has always been there, but that tools tends to wash away. You forget about it, and you remember the good. Like you remember the good stuff. I mean, I think like a lot of modern films aren't. I still think a lot of like 80s, 90s films hold up better than modern films do.
Yeah.
Because I feel that a lot of modern films have gone. A lot of them are influenced too much by like Marvel, and they all seem to go down to the wisecracking hero route.
They're all soft-boiled.
And I think also, a lot of the storylines I don't find particularly interesting. Also, I tell you my biggest gripe with a lot of, and this is not really true, to be fair, I say that, but in general, in modern films, most protagonists in a modern film, you pick any sort of random one for the last 20 years, pick the protagonists, they are going to be somehow amazing at something, just absolutely amazing. They're going to be the best archer in the land. They're going to be.
There's no struggle. There's no growth.
No, you compare. You compare Die Hard 1, where John McClane gets absolutely fucked up. He's got his foot are cut up. He can barely walk. He's absolutely destroyed. He sort of struggles through, and it's clear he's in a lot of pain, hurting at the end. Compare that to, I think, was it Die Hard 4, where he leaps off a vehicle and hits a helicopter?
Yeah, mate. No, I know. Just want to throw out there. That's one I really have to switch my brain off to watch, but I quite like Die Hard 4 just because of the theming of it.
Yeah, no, I've heard a few people say that. I've personally, I've only really liked the first Die Hard. In Die Hard 2, which people seem to quite like, I don't particularly like. But Die Hard, but all modern players just have to be like, the best at something, the best at that, or so forth. Like they can't just be like an ordinary person who pushes through and struggles and gets to the other end. Everybody has to be a superhero.
What it is that in the 80s, you related to people beyond the surface, right? So, Ripley, yeah, just a woman,
great protagonist,
fighting for survival, right? You could relate to her struggle. You knew, you could put yourself in that position and go, "Oh fuck." Now we need these instant, like, "Oh yeah, that looks so amazing. That's so cool." You don't want to see people struggle. You want to see them win. They have to be gorgeous and strong and fucking really good at things. And it's like, why? This is like watching millionaires fucking fight.
The flip side to that is there were a lot of like over the top action heroes in the 80s, but they knew they were over the top action heroes, and all the films were quite silly.
Yeah,
and they knew.
Last Action Hero, for example.
Yeah, they knew that was basically a satire of what basically, and even those action films were pretty much like just silly, and they knew they were silly. They didn't take themselves too seriously. Now we've got situations where the films take themselves seriously, and you have action hero, and everybody's a superhero. Yeah, and it's like, why can't someone just be okay at something? Good at something. No, they have to be, this is John. He's going to be on our heist team. He's the best safecracker in the world. He's the best hacker in the world.
People, Ram. It could upset people.
Yeah.
If the woman trips over and is picked up by if the male character helps her, misogynist.
Yeah.
If the man character is like, I'm gonna fucking like rage out or whatever, then is toxic. If certain characters aren't in touch with their feelings or whatever, then there's some other. We have to we're catering to a really modern audience and a really wide one, so everything is really surface level. Not to say that any of those things are bad,
no,
but if you want something a bit more than surface level, you go scratching on that surface, you ain't going to get it.
Yeah. I think characters have to be flawed. All characters have to be flawed, and the flaws have got to be actual flaws, not like Oh, not like it's like when people say, "What's your worst attribute?" Oh, someone's a bit of a perfectionist. That's not a worst. That's not really a flaw. You know, it should be a character, and they should have to struggle with their flaws and have to either overcome them or just deal with them.
Yeah.
No, characters should be flawed. They should be. They don't need to be the best. You know, we don't.
Ram, what's your biggest flaw?
Oh, I'm just a twat. That's what my biggest flaw.
I was going to say my twat's I'm a cocky, arrogant douchebag.
Yeah. I just struggle to be. My biggest flaws. I just hate it when I'm not perfect every day.
Oh, mate, how could you?
But it's like I was saying with sister this week. I said, "What would your role be on a heist team? How desperate they have to be to come knock on the door and say." Ram, can you come join our heist team? How many people down the list have they gone through before they get before they get to me? It's like,
well, I'm on the last page of the book, and Ram's like one of the only guys left, and we don't really have a job for him, but we need 5 people.
Yeah, we've got a spare seat in the helicopter, and it's like we need it for balance. So what could you what could you do, Ram? It's like, well, I suppose I could be a decoy. I could be I can't be the plucky comic relief because they're irritating and I'm not particularly funny. You know, I can sort of use computers. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I'm not no expert hacker.
Google.
I know a little bit. I can Google. Now if I've got an internet connection and like 5G, I'm fine. We're sorted.
And it has to be 5G because the network is so oversaturated by normies that you can't get anything done on anything less.
Yeah, that's fine. I can hack all that sort of stuff. That's fine. I'm quite good at cooking, so there you go. That's a skill. If you want something, I can maintain morale by doing some good food. Other than that, I'm not sure what benefit I would be to a heist team.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not sure. What would your role be on a heist team?
All I can do is pick locks, mate.
Hey, that's something. That's more than I've got.
I can pick locks and talk myself into situations I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Why are you here picking this lock? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, basically. Fuck off, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, you telling me you got something to hide, son? No, you sure? I'm pretty sure. Then fucking I'm going in. I'm gonna check.
Introducing to the heist team, Skazz. He grew up on the Witten estate.
That's my superpower, mate. I was born a criminal. I said that the other day. I said I can't have a heel turn. Like I can't become the bad guy because I've never left that bad guy arc yet.
No. Secretly, he has.
Every day it's just been a villain arc with a smile.
He has secretly team. He just doesn't like to admit it.
Right, the fucking Divine says that as well. He used the old wrestling term kayfabe, where you're not allowed to break the character. Stop it. You and Divine need to stop that. I've got a reputation to keep up.
But we know you, Skazz. The trouble is, we've seen behind the curtain. And we know what you're
willing to admit that a majority of the time, though, 3 out of 5, I'm a fucking asshole.
Yeah, 1 out of 5.
Fuck's sake, I'm gonna have to make this worse, mate. I've got to... Fuck. Like, what do I need to do? Fucking support Trump, deport people. What do I need to do?
That would go a long way towards it, to be fair.
I don't know if I could, because it pisses me off.
That's my point, you see. That's my point. You can't do it, you see.
The more I have to deal with people, like, I go online, and I'm like, are you guys fucking stupid? And it's like, yeah, but this and this and this is like, I don't give it. Look, right, that's my biggest flaw. I can't relate to people. They tell me stuff that should upset me, and I'm like,
yeah.
And?
We want to do. I want to deport people. What, immigrants? No. People who annoy me. That's what I want. I want to deport. I've got a long list. None of them are immigrants, and I want to port them to the moon without spacesuits.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do? Was it Apollo? No, Challenger. What was the one that fucking went?
That was Challenger. Yeah.
That one. I want to Challenger their ass. No, what do you mean challenge them? No, launch them up. Bang. Done.
I think we need to send enough biomass to the moon that eventually life finds a way and starts creating oxygen. So if we send enough people there, there'll eventually be enough biomass that something will survive, and that something might start making oxygen. We might have a habitable moon.
That's what, look, let's be fair. The only reason that we haven't really seen real aliens is because they go, oh shit, it's the monkeys again.
Yeah.
Stay away. You seen what they're doing? Fucking, we are probably the arse end of a dodgy fucking alien TV show like you've been through.
Yeah, I tell you this, guys, there's thousands of alien civilization out there, but none of them talk about us. Or they do, well, we are the butt of so many jokes, and I say we're being filmed 24/7, being broadcast. You won't believe what the humans have done now. Mate. You don't believe what they're, yeah, and they're also thinking, oh look, they've been told for years they're still destroying their environment, and they know they are. It's like, yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, yeah. No, look at this one. I think the aliens are actually putting people in power, not because they want to take control of the Earth, but for the lols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let them do it. Let them do it. Look, they're murdering each other in the streets over what? I don't know. Hey, that guy just fucking physically assaulted, practically murdered someone just because a live stream told him to. Let him go. That's great. Yeah, keep going, humans. You're doing great. Keep waving them fucking flags. They don't mean anything. No. They don't. Yeah, get rid of all the fucking immigrants. Then you look at the statistics. There's like 3. Well, it's not the legal ones we're worried about. It's like, well, mate, if the illegals came here, they'd spend more. Like, if they spent more than a day here, they'd fucking get back on the boat. Yeah, they'd leave. Be swimming. We wouldn't need you. We don't need you to support them. They happily leave. Yeah, that's it. It's like, no. This place is fucking shit, mate. I thought you said that England was where I could start a new life. They get off a boat, they walk around, they look, go, I'm going back to Somalia. And with the exception of the fucking Russians who are like, yeah, mate, let's just set up another ring in fucking Great Yarmouth. Fuck off! I still think that guy that Russian spy was a genius. He came up with a situation. He found the excuse to basically do no work, and he got paid to do no work at all. He was a genius. One of the few smart people in the Russia. We suppose he's in the Russia anymore because he's too smart to be over there. They like push him out the window. But he was a genius. Oh, I'm going to set a spy rig up in Great Yarmouth, because this is the hub of activity in the UK. Yes, comrade, good comrade. We keep sending you the money, comrade. Yes, keep sending the money. Yes, there's plenty here to find. I'm going to get the sequence of the pier. You know, I will find out. I'm going to figure out how this slot machine's rigged. Yeah. I put in 50 quid last week and didn't get nothing back. Yeah. I've nearly got to the bottom of the casino. Can I have some more money, please, so I can go back? I think I've nearly got to the kingpin. I'm money laundering. Yeah. How are you doing that? I'm going to the laundrette to wash my underwear after this fucking slot machine all day. Hilarious. Got to rinse that stank out of my shorts. So what you're saying is you're not money laundering. You are just... Not how that works, mate. Nah, well, I'm still in contact with the main guys in London, and I'm telling them all the cool shit. Dude, we got fucking donuts around here, mate. In the summer, they're fucking great. Otherwise, it looks just like home. Yeah. There we go. Right. So... yeah, gaming. That's pushed by brands, basically. Yeah. So, talking of gaming. Sorry, Ram. What have you been playing? Well, then, I've been playing a game which, if you are somebody to make up a name for a game and who never played a game in their lives but had like some vague ideas what games were from the 1980s. I'm pretty sure the title of this game would be somewhat along those lines, because I have to keep looking on Steam to remember it, because I can never remember the darn title. Have you got the page up right now? I have, yes, because I can't see where I can remember the darn title of the thing. Because it means basically. Right, I'm going to take the title and I want you to guess what the game's about. It's called Genesis Alpha 1 Deluxe Edition. I've got him. Deluxe Edition? Yeah. Is there a standard edition, or is that just part of the title?
I think it's now only Deluxe Edition, but I think that's like it was a standard edition, then it became a Deluxe Edition.
Is it the Uber Ultra Mega?
Yeah.
And it's got a 2 at the end of it with a subtitle like Revengeance or whatever. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea, mate. What is it?
No. So, Genesis Alpha 1 Deluxe Edition.
Aliens.
It is alien. Now, the story does make sense, but it's all like, you hear the name of it, you can't possibly get what the game is about from the name. And that's always a mistake in a name of your game. If you can't like get a vague idea what the game's about. I mean, Empyrion, Galactic Survival. Empyrion means nothing, but Galactic Survival gives you a clue what the game's about.
This is clearly why you don't play on consoles, because I can think of a million games where the title means fucking nothing.
Yeah, but this is a particularly horrendously bad version. So it's.
Wait, is it an indie game?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
you let off, guys.
So Genesis Alpha 1 Deluxe Edition. It's a. I've been sort of looking at a game that would scratch the same itch as Empyrion Galactic Survival, so something space-based, a bit of like base building, bit of sort of creativity stuff. And I come across this one, and it's a space-based resource gathering buildy thingy yapper game.
Mate, you've never. I don't know what. I don't know. You've never played games like that before.
Well,
I don't.
So, the general idea, the reason it's called Genesis Alpha Zero is you and your spaceship, your colony ship, is going to the Alpha Zero section, like universe, galaxy, and you're looking for a planet that you can colonize. And those planets are called Genesis planets. That's where the names come from. Is that you're looking for Genesis planets in Alpha Zero, and the game is basically split into 3 sections. You have your spaceship, you have planets, and you have other spaceships. So your spaceship is this was called creativity aspect. It's a sort of, it's meant to be like a sort of colony ship going out there, and you could basically plug modules together to bake it. And you can basically go to like a ship designer mode, and you can plug these any way you want, and then you can walk around it. You can explore it in first person. That's how the game is designed to work in first person. So, for example, and each sort of section module has, and it either gives you an ability or like sort of allows you to do like explore abilities, but generally they give you more functionality. So, on your basic spaceship, you have a bridge. The bridge basically allows you to access to the galaxy map, and you can move around the galaxy for the galaxy map. It's literally just a grid with all planets on it. You can click on a planet. A part of the map, and you sit hyperdrive, and you'll jump there, and your ship moves there. The ship itself is actually like a stationary object. It's static. It does not move. You can't fly it about. The level just loads around it, and it's fully static. That you can't like look out window and see one of the planets you're going to populate. You can't like look out for it. You can't go outside the ship. It's all just self-contained static. It's a static level. Okay. You may have crew quarters, because one of the big things in the game is you have to have crew. And crew need crew quarters to live in. And each crew quarter lets you have 5. So you need crew quarters to put the crew in. The crew on this ship are all clones. So you have a clone lab where you clone your crew. And as you sort of go along, you can basically like pick up like alien DNA. And once you get enough of it, you can research and you can then like modify, like unlock new clones who like got that DNA spliced in, so you can unlock like an arachnid type clone who's human with arachnid DNA. You've got no real control of this. You just unlock the type. It's not like you can like mix and match yourself and pick and choose. It's just like you've unlocked this type now. That's what you get. There are greenhouses where you grow plants to basically make atmosphere. So different clones require different atmospheres to live in, and the greenhouses produce that. So a greenhouse may produce a plant has like 5 planters in it, and you can plant like a fern that produces 2 oxygen. If you produce 2 oxygen, you can have 2 crew members who need oxygen, or you can have like 2 nitrogen, and if you have nitrogen, you can 2 crews nitrogen.
Every room has a nice house plant.
No, just the greenhouses. No rooms have no house plants. Sort of. They sort of do. Yeah, no. I mean, it doesn't explain how these different types of atmospheres work together, because, like, well,
wasn't a way you could mesh them together. No,
it's just a count. So, like, okay, you've got 2 nitrogen-producing plants, therefore you have 2 crew who have nitrogen. it's not like you have to have like different areas of ships subjugated to different types of crew environments.
Why
It's just
does
a
it
counter.
make me feel like, you know, the old fucking plague doctor masks where they've got like fucking flowers and herbs and shit at the end of the mask? Why does it feel like your fucking crew are walking around like that?
Most of them
Well,
do wear masks
I've got me a
and
couple of
stuff.
plants in the bottom of
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, most of the crew do wear plant stuff. There is deposits where you will put raw resources you gather could go to deposit, and there's storage, which is where refined resources go. There's a tractor beam, so each time you go to a new solar system, you will have you basically have like a grid type map where you can see planets, and you can see like debris, and you can scan both. So debris will tend to have refined resources in it, and then you use a tractor beam to extract them. So this debris's got like 8 gunpowder in it. Your tractor beam will then can be set to extract it. Your planets, you have to visit with your spaceship, in your hangar, which I'll get to in a moment. There is a refinery. So basically how resources work in this game, it's a very simplified resource game. It's not like, okay, I've now mined a load of carbon. I can now make carbon blocks, carbon walls. These will go into a recipe. It's 1 = 1. So if you mine iron, you can make frameworks, which are used to build your ships. If you mine sulfur, you can make gunpowder, which is used to make weapons. If you mine aluminium, you can make panels, which again make. So each like raw resource automatically produce 1 refined resource. There's no sort of mixing and matching, and it's 1-to-1. There's no mixing and matching. It's very simplified, and your refinery is what does it. And the raw resources you pick up go into your deposits, and the refinery takes them to the depository and then makes them and puts them into the storage. You have a workshop. Workshop is used to, you can research through it, and you can also build weapons and stuff in the workshop. And like, new equipment and stuff and power cells. And again, it's like, okay, I need 3 sulfur to make this turret. So I need 3 gunpowder to make this turret, into sulfur into gunpowder. You have a hangar. The hangar is where you launch a spaceship from, where it goes down to planets. So the only way to get stuff from planets is to actually land a spaceship on them. You also have what they call ship assault, which is if you find a solar system with another spaceship in it, you can basically launch assault on the spaceship and raid it. And then it's all connected with corridors. And notice as part of these corridors, they all have access tunnels like underneath them, where you can like drop down and crawl around underneath, which is a bit of a pain. So when you're picking back pests, that's where they tend to live. So why you need crew? So each of these areas, let's say we'll do. Let's take tractor beam as an example. When you start tractoring something, if the place isn't manned by a crew member, nothing will happen. You can take control and do it yourself. So you walk up to a console, you can basically hit it, and the little progress bar will rapidly go across. And it does it really quickly. You can speed up in any sort of environment if you go and you do it and take control of the progress, like console. You can speed things up and process them really quickly. But that's only when you're present. If you put crew in there, the crew will just do it for you. So crew are useful in that regards because they will just go. You can just leave them assigned to an area and they'll just work it. Things like the greenhouses need a certain number of crew, otherwise your plants will start to wither because they need to look after the plants. But all the areas work like this. Unless you've got a crew member there, the area will remain idle until you can give instructions, but nothing will happen unless either you do it or you have a crew member there do it for you. So say like the clone lab, because you don't use a clone very often, I never bother to man it because I'll just do it myself because I'm often only cloning one thing at a time. No point having someone just sat there idle.
Sure.
And your crew just stay there forever. They don't like go around. They don't have like little off time or habitats. You can build like recreational facilities. They don't do anything. All they basically do is allow your crew to heal up if they get hurt, but other than that, they don't do anything. So it's a very simplistic.
So you've gulagged the place again?
No, not gulag. This is how the game's designed.
No fun for you.
But there's no
work.
But that's all kind of my point. Really, is that there's no management of the crew. As long as you've got the atmosphere in your greenhouse, you can have that crew member. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about any resources for them. You don't have to do anything to maintain them, to keep them going there. You can have as many as you like as long as you've got like points in atmosphere, whatever different types of atmosphere you've got.
Sure.
So, how do you get? So I said you got debris gives you refined resources. So resources that have already been processed from like iron to framework, etc. If you want the raw stuff, you have to go down to a planet, and you can do this in your hangar. So you can either assign some crew members to the ship, and then you pick a planet on the screen. You hit launch, and they'll all board the ship. The ship will fly away, goes into planet. About a minute or two later, it comes back, and they'll pick resources up. Or you can jump on the ship with them, and you can go down with them. And what happens is, and I like this sort of idea. I think when you land on a planet, what it basically does is your harvester projects like a force field around the ship that basically makes like a safe area that you can work in. If you walk through the force field, you'll be like in the planet's natural atmosphere. It's probably hostile to life, and you'll start to die. But you want to stay in a safe area. But the trouble is, there is basically no variety apart from like lighting. The planet's all like you basically land on the planet. There's a load of rocks. You mine the rocks, you get back on the harvester and go. There's no sort of like, and sometimes it'll be dark, sometimes there'll be light. There's no real variety. The whole time you're on a planet, you're being attacked. So mobs will spawn in, and they'll start like from small little creatures and to like big things that can actually shoot at you. To actual aliens armed with guns will like beam in and come and attack you. So whilst you're trying to harvest, you're also trying to deal with the mobs as well. You can take things with you. If you take crew with you, crew are actually, to be fair, they're quite smart. The crew, they are actually, it's simple, but it's fairly good. They will like go to resources. They'll hit it together, so they get it really quickly. They'll stick together. They won't just wander off by themselves and get killed. They'll stick together, work together as a team. And as soon as they're done, as soon as they clear all the resources, they go back to the ship. They don't like hang around and wait to die. Frustratingly, your ship can only carry 5 resources at once. So 5 bits of iron, and then you then have to come back to the ship, and again you board the ship. You hit return to mothership. You have a little countdown. The ship flies off, and you land back in your spaceship, or you spawn back in your spaceship. So the trouble the planets are just all identical. There's no real variety. So that gets pretty boring pretty quick. It's not like if you could land, you had to like dig somewhere and find resources, have to spend some time there. Because you can carry so few resources, it's all just a bit like, oh, you just have to, I'm going to go back to ship. I'm going to wait for them to be unloaded because you have little robots come unload it. So I'm just going to go straight back down there again. So you're just sort of grinding it. And that's just not particularly interesting.
How far have you gone in this? Is this just an early game thing, or is this just
I'm
the game?
about 9 hours in, and from what I can tell, this is the game.
Oh.
From what I've told, as you get more, you get nastier aliens and stuff. Yeah. And one of the things that the game has in it is, it says, "Oh, be careful when you come back to the harvester. You may actually bring some aliens with you." Which is true.
Yes, the idea is your ship's boarded and then you have to defend the ship.
Yeah, and what these aliens will also do is they'll leave spores, and these spores will basically start to migrate around the ship. They do apparently, they migrate in logical factors. They start, so they can form. Oh, sorry, audio viewers, I just mashed the microphone. They will. So that they can spawn multiple places. So they can spawn the tractor beam room because you're beaming stuff up from debris. You may beam some of them on board. They can come in the harvest room. They can also come in like, because you have like deposits which where all your raw materials go, they can spawn in there because they may have been like in one of the boxes of resources you had. And so when they get dropped in there, they end up spawning in there. And then these spores basically start to spread throughout the ship. And these spores eventually produce aliens. Now, so what you end up having to do after every run, and they say they might happen, it happens nearly every bloody time. So after every... I was
about to say, you said might, and I was under the impression you were then going to say that in 9 hours this never happened to you.
No, it happens nearly every fucking time. And so basically, as soon as you get out, your first thing you do is basically do a run. Now, of course, there is like a dirty side of this ship, as effectively the areas where they can spawn. When I first built my ship, I didn't know that, and so I had the ship sort of like laid out as is. So basically, I ended up with infestation everywhere. As soon as I learned that, I basically reorganized so all the dirty stuff is in one bit, and it's all like got one. There's like one way into it, one way out, so it's all like segregated. So that severely helps in the management of things spawning. Your crew will fight if the aliens like turn up in like an area, the crew will fight them, and you can like give your crew better weapons and stuff. You can also deploy turrets. Turrets will shoot the aliens. What they won't attack is the spores themselves. So you could walk through a corridor, it's full of spores, and no one's going to attack them until they spawn.
That's your job?
That's your job. And to make it more annoying, they can also spawn underneath in the access tunnels. So you need to basically put turrets basically fucking everywhere, because and to be fair, once you do that, because turrets are so cheap, once you put them just everywhere, it's more of an annoyance than anything else, because like the turrets will deal with it.
This sounds like a game that is very easy to optimize the fun out of it.
Pretty much, yeah. It was just so little variety. It feels like a game that's had some ideas, they just ran out of art. They just simply didn't know how to exploit them any further. That's what it feels like.
So you said it's an indie game. How indie?
Let me have a look on the store page.
Are we talking like a handful of people have just bunged their game on Steam and hoping it sticks? Like it's a game jam project?
Well, I can tell you, this is the only game, well, on Steam at least, this is the only game they've made. And this came out in 2020, this game.
Sure.
The developer is called Radiation Blue. Let's have a look at them. It's published by Team 17.
Yeah, but Team 17 is... Right, this goes back to our branding thing. Team 17 isn't exactly a mark of quality anymore.
No, they're not.
So, you know... oh, mate, it's a game published by Team 17. It's got to be good. Yeah, not since, like, fucking 2002.
Okay. So, they are... So, they're... Yeah, so they're not about us. Here we go. About us.
So, all right. I take it. Was this a Steam purchase or did you get it from Humble?
It's one of those games. Was like it could have either been me on a whim on a Steam sale, or it could be Humble. It could be either or. I don't know.
Okay, because I tend to assume when you get like mega indie, I assume there's some Humble slop.
It could be Humble if it's mega indie.
So I was going to say that this is another reason why I'd never waste my time resubscribing to Humble Bundle. I did give it some thought, but I was like, my library's already full of shit. To be fair,
I've got some good little games. Empyrion Galactic Survival is a Humble game, so I've had some good
I understand that, and I get the idea where you said, hey, yo, I've now played a lot more games that I wouldn't have normally played had it not been for Humble. That's fine. I still think it's a lot more shit to shovel than actually going out and curating your own list.
I'm quite happy with it. So, anyway, so as I say, where I was talking about, so yeah, you see the court says you get these spores, you have to deal with them. I said about research. So how you get research is when you land on a planet and attack the aliens and kill the aliens, someone will drop DNA, and if you pick it up, if you pick enough of them up, you'll basically be able to like unlock the clones, or you'll be able to unlock research like new weapons, because they'll drop like weapon plans and stuff, or you might even get alien abilities that you can use to upgrade your character and stuff, and you have to research. The other sort of like thing they added on, which was ship assault. So the idea in ship assault is you basically, if you've got an area where there's like derelict ship, you can basically beam on board the ship and then assault it. Frankly, I've done it once and it felt utterly pointless, because it's like, well, what am I actually doing here? I'm walking around the ship. I'm not like, I explored the whole ship. It wasn't like, if you were like, okay, if you go on a ship assault, you're going to find like, you're guaranteed to find like good research, good loot. You're going to find good research materials. You're going to be able to like take a lot there with resources, or like parts. The only time that sort of happened was I went to one of the bio tanks, and it started to try and like transfer the bio tank, because biomaterials were used to like clone crew members and so forth. So you need that, quite a lot of that. I tried to like take some of it, but I had already filled bio tanks and didn't do anything. So I was like, this feels utterly pointless. So yeah, I've sort of like, I've put about 9 hours in. It's like I just don't see any like the gameplay loop is just nothing's really changed. It's got to stage I don't even bother going down to the planets anymore, because it's just because it's just it's easier just to send your 4 crew down to collect resources. They come back, you unload them, and send back down again. It's just easier. The only time you need to go to a planet is if there's what they call a site. So some planets will have like crashed ships on them, or they might have like a pyramid with a like a locational worm, or you just need to go up to them. If you stand near him, you'll basically start to access the data, and you have to stay near him while that happens. But once you've done it, you've accessed it, you download it, you then pick it up, and then you get it. So you might get logs as well. So what you end up doing is, okay, This planet's got 12 resources on it, and one site. I'll send a crew down twice to pick up. They'll pick 5 up at a time. Then for the last one, I'll go down with them. I'll let them deal with the resources. I'll go quickly get the site done. Bob's your uncle. We're back on board the ship. It's got. There's just not enough variety of things to do. If the planets are more offensive,
a little bit of Little King's Story, the way you explain how you're playing it now.
Little King's Story, that doesn't ring a bell.
Right, the idea of Little King's Story is the idea you have a kingdom and you got to build it, and you'll start with like 1 subject, 2 subjects, or whatever, and you send them off onto various little adventures, and then when they're out on those adventures, RNG happens, and they could come back and go, oh, I just found a blacksmith in the miasma or whatever, and now we can open up the next shop, and that will expand our kingdom, and then you get better weapons, so you can send your people out further, and eventually little story beats happen as they get to know you as the king. Like Ram just goes, okay guys, fuck off down to the planet, get the bits that I need so that I can upgrade my ship so that we can go do something else.
And the simple reason I do that is it's quicker to do it that way. The ship takes off, it flies out, it disappears, and it comes back like a minute later. I couldn't do it that quickly, so I might as well just send them to do it.
Okay.
So it does sort of get to the point where it feels like I got to the stage like, I'm just doing nothing now. I'm literally just doing busy work because I've got my ship to a size where like I don't feel the need to get it any bigger. And because you can't, the only way to get tech is by finding it. And it's so rare to find stuff. It's not like you can unlock stuff and like there's a research tree, so you get like different modules in your ship which give you new ability stuff. It's like I've got everything I need to do. I've got enough crew to do everything. I'm basically just wandering around now and to the point where eventually you're just looking around. And once you find a Genesis planet, you basically get in the game because you land there, you colonize it. You choose to do it. Yeah. But I'm like, well, I'm just basically waiting on the RNG to give me a Genesis planet. That's what I'm waiting for because there's no real. Now I believe that there are things later. I believe there are things that come later, like you can get. I believe there are like pirates that can attack you as well. I believe
later, you've already put in 9 hours.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
it's like,
how much later can it be?
Yeah.
Unless this is no offense, mate. Unless this is Ram micromanaging absolutely everything, and where you are now would take the average player like an hour and a half, and you've spent 9 hours doing it to make sure that it's all.
Well, there's not. What you really you need to do is collect the resources from the debris or stuff. And so basically, if you're on system, you might as well collect all of them because you need them to build your ship. So there's no real good reason not to.
Sure. I'm just thinking like Heroes of Hammerwatch, for example. What should have taken us maybe 10 hours took way longer because we weren't actually engaging with 2/3 of the mechanics in a timely manner.
There simply isn't that many mechanics in it. It's the answer. Sure. This is not what I've encountered so far. And if it was a case of, there would be a case of when you went to a system that at any point, pirates have appeared, they're going to come attack you. You've got to like try and defend your ship enough so you can get like power up the hyperdrive and get away. Or like sort of random shit can happen and you have to deal with it. That would be quite interesting. And apparently there is stuff like that, but it should be showing up after 10 hours, nearly 10 hours. It should be showing up by now. After like sort of like hour 2 or 3, you start getting random events happening, and it's like if I need to just keep plodding on just to wait to have more interesting stuff going, it's like I've spent too much. I'm not going to go any further. So it's a game I could not recommend. I simply couldn't recommend it. It's just not got enough variety of things, or if it has got a variety of things, they're coming too late. It's almost like it almost feels like it wants to be an idle game, but you have to be active in it. If it's if it's like a mobile game where like rather than on a ship, you build a ship up, but then you can like send your crew off. Like, okay, this crew's going to be gone for like 6 real world hours. Check in later when they come back. So you like sort of send it off and like stuff, and so you can just then carry on do other things while she's all doing it. Like, I'll go to work.
Monitor game.
Yeah, or like, before you go to work, I'm going to send all my crew off to do some missions. I'll see how they get on at lunchtime. That sort of thing. I can understand, but it's like they've tried to trim things down so much to simplify it that they've just made it uninteresting.
Yeah, so which is, I think is actually funny enough what I said earlier on about a lot of games that I play now. That I don't worry about anything anymore. Like, the game doesn't engage me. I don't feel I can either skip 2/3 of the mechanics and get bored of it because I've skipped 2/3 of the mechanics and it's not fun. Like, I've almost optimized the fun out of it, because why engage with a more complicated thing when the simple thing works? Or it's the idea, oh my, big spectacle happens. Well, I don't have to worry about that because you've given me enough mechanics to not worry about it anyway. Like, I don't have to worry about platforming because I'll have a double jump and massive recovery. Or, hey, look, a dragon's just blasted me in the face with fire. I'm still fine.
Yeah. Well, all my crew have sent down. They come back. They all come back fully healthy. There's not like, it doesn't feel like I'm doing any risk reward. It doesn't like I feel like I'm sending my crew down. Like, okay, off you guys go. I might lose one of you. I'm assuming it can happen, but it's not happened to me yet. I mean, either passengers have been very lucky, or like because most planets have been going down to a like low danger, and it's just like, well, if they're low danger, you're automatically going to survive. Because I've only come across like one high danger planet, and again, that's for the fact that you can pick up 5 resources at a time. It's just like, so the high danger planet had like aluminium, which I needed, and it was high danger in the sense that there's a lot more hostile aliens, but all that basically happens was you just get swarmed. You just have to spend more time killing them, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's just frustrating because
and
you
the
like,
combat ain't that fun.
No,
I will say that's probably another thing I've noticed in a lot of games in the last 5-10 years or so, that we don't want to offend the player. Like, you know, we don't want them to think that the game's too hard or whatever, so we give them plenty of things to get out of whatever scenario they could possibly find themselves in, because it can never be the player's fault they've died. So we tend to dumb down things and make them really easy. If we do tend to make things challenging, though, 9 times out of 10, we don't make the world around it interesting enough to warrant the time you spend getting through it.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I sort of see what you're saying. I mean, this game is sort of along the lines of you plonk your player, you plonk you land on a planet. Aliens are going to swarm, you shoot them, you start mining resources. They spawn again, you shoot them, you carry on mining that resource, and you just keep doing it. If there was like, okay, you land on the planet, I'm going to set up like some drills and stuff, and I'm going to be just swarmed constantly. Now I've got to just try and defend these drills once. A bit like Deep Galactic, that sort of style. If it was like that style. Or Helldivers, yeah. That sort of style. And in this game, also, if it allowed like co-op, I think that could be really good, because you go and your mates like, well, we need this resource. This one's high danger. We're going to be really challenged, but if we can pull us off, we can like get some really cool weapons or something.
Yeah.
Basically, Deluxe Galactic's a better version of this game, because you've got none of the shipbuilding stuff, but you've just got really interesting planets to go down. They're all randomly generated. They all look different, and you can drill and you can dive and stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
Mechanics, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, and there's variety of mission types, which this hasn't got. So yeah, I can't recommend it. And I've even, Genesis Alpha 1 Deluxe, I can't recommend it, unfortunately.
Cool.
Not unfortunately, because I don't like it. So
there you go. I will be honest with you, mate. It's not often you go hard on a game.
I'm very lenient in what I'll accept of games. I'm very lenient in like when it comes to game types. So I am prepared to like give games a chance. I'm also prepared to like see the good parts amongst the bad. You know, I'm happy to like, okay, this game really like, you know, perhaps I don't know, the gameplay is really clunky, but this bit's quite interesting. I'm prepared to like give it the benefit of the doubt and go, actually, this has got some interesting, neat things in it. But it's unfortunately surrounded by some of my bad stuff. But I'm happy. I'll give it a bit of a dev down. And like, okay, for a small amount of money, it's worth giving a go for. But this one's just nothing is particularly interesting.
I'd say the cost of it is always something that will make me go, is it worth a punt? However, I'm really, really, really fucking hard on games these days, especially if it's something someone has recommended to me. If it doesn't immediately grab me by the balls and twist, I'm like, yeah, no, this is terrible. I keep on banging on Stellar Blade, but everyone told me, oh yeah, this game's amazing. It looks great. It plays well. Like, it's optimized in that. The world's interesting in that. You know what? Jumped into it and I said before I started, please don't be fucking a Korean version of Nier. And it was. it was Korean Near with a dash of Dark Souls, and I was like, I didn't want either, and it's not interesting. The only thing I'd give that game is it was quite well optimized on PC. Which these days is like 2 thumbs up recommended, but I just couldn't recommend the gameplay. I just couldn't recommend it. There wasn't much wrong with it, but there wasn't really much good about it either.
Yeah.
They're just... It's fucking boring. Games these days are just fucking boring.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just came out of nowhere. One day I will properly dog on Stellar Blade, but...
You keep threatening to, but keep not doing it.
Yeah, well, it's because I haven't finished it, and I'm just hoping it's going to get... I just keep going, I hope this is going to get better. First impressions I had of it were literally, oh, I didn't expect this to play like Dark Souls. It's a bit like Dark Souls. And then I was like, I'm kind of bored of this.
Yeah.
But everyone kept telling me, yeah, it's good. And I kept going, and I was like, when does it get good?
Yeah. I just learned I never recommend you games. It's just a rate of pain.
Yeah, they fucking, dude, like I said, if someone recommends a game to me and I'm like, because I get hyped for it, I get psyched for it. But it's so easy to get let down with games these days. You know? It's all the same. It's all something I've played before, which is my fault for being old and playing a lot of different stuff. But, you know, just... I need it to be more than pretty.
Yeah.
Or I need it, like, I can't overlook jank these days. I can't, like, it depends on the game. Again, like we said about the films, if you're taking yourself seriously, I can't overlook jank.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these days I go back and play games I used to love, kind of like your Silent Hill moment, and go, wow, this is actually kind of shit, isn't it? But, sorry, that came out of nowhere. Right. It's just interesting to hear you dog on a game and it not be me.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. But there we are. Right, Skazz, was there anything else from yourself today before we finish up?
No, mate. Modern games suck.
Well, in that case, you can try and join us to play some modern games calls in our next... In lieu of next podcast, we'll be having 24-hour games night, a games stream. It's due to start on Friday the 12th. He said, looking for a date. Friday the 12th. We're starting at, I think, 9 a.m. I think is what's been agreed. And we're running through
9
to
UK.
UK time, yes. Running all the way through to Saturday the 13th at 9 a.m. And we're going to be playing a variety of games like last year. We're going to be getting up. We'll see what game I can play through whilst half asleep.
How many games will he remember?
Yeah. There'll be games that Skazz say we've got some games lined up. I'm going to possibly be able to try and kill everybody in Flight Simulator again. No, I didn't. No. I mean, I landed perfectly in Flight Simulator.
I was going to say, what are you on about? Perfect landing.
Yeah.
Perfect landing.
Yeah. Perfect landing.
Never before have I seen someone backflip a plane.
Did not backflip a plane. That plane landed. It may not land on the runway, but it was close to it.
Well, it was right by the terminal. I mean, that flight was terminal for many people.
I still maintain most people would have survived that flight. Most of them would.
Miracle on the Hudson, miracle at Terminal 5.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they shouldn't call them the terminal, should they? Really, it's bad mojo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a bad thing to a bad name at an airport.
Yeah, where are we going? Terminal. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Well, you're going there. Enjoy. Yeah. So come join us. We'll be broadcasting from 9 o'clock on the 12th, and we'll be gaming. And hopefully we'll see how well we make it through. If we can make it through a whole night again. And I'll try not to be sick this time. So, there we go. So, thank you much for watching this evening. So, for me, the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz.
We'll see you all on 24 Hour Games Day.
Yay.
Bye, buddy.